My next guest is going back to Japan. He's going to be fighting on the RIZIN 42 card coming up here May 6th. It's the Spaniard, Juan Archuleta, back here on the program. Juan, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. Excited for the new announcement on the fight and training hard.
Yeah, how stoked are you, man? It's great to see Bellator continue this relationship with RIZIN. I know you wanted to be a part of the last card. You ended up getting on it. Now you're on this other card for RIZIN 42.
Yeah.
Just how excited were you, man, to get this opportunity?
Yeah, when Coker and Sakihabara and my manager Tiki Gosen were working this deal out, I was like biting at the nails, wanting to know all the ins and outs, but kind of giving them their space to let it work out. Even the fight card over in LA, I was like excited to be like right there talking to Sakihabara and Coker and Tiki about everything. And then, it just kept leading down to this opportunity, which is, a four-man tournament fighting for the RIZIN title. And to be able to represent Bellator doing that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it really is an awesome opportunity. Is that part of the reason why we didn't see you? We haven't seen you since December. You're sort of waiting out for this card, this opportunity?
Yeah, I knew that because with Bellator right now, I'm kind of in a weird position in my situation. I'm obviously a number one contender, but with Sergio being hurt, he has the dibs to the rematch or to the fight the winner of the Grand Prix. So it kind of left me in a little bit of a stalemate. Puts me a year without fighting for a title, and so with this opportunity and seeing how well fans had taken me into Japan and them wanting to grow the business of Bellator out there, it just made sense to stick it out and wait for this opportunity.
Yeah, and what a cool fight that was you had on the Bellator versus RIZIN card back in December. I was alluding to it there.
Oh,
I know it was a split decision,
yeah.
but just overall thoughts on your performance, man. You went out there and you looked great in that fight.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was obviously a lot of emotions out there, being a kid and wanting to fight in Japan my whole life, especially on the New Year's card and seeing Genki Sudo come out, always dressed in different attire, like getting the fans involved. It was something to live up to, Dan Henderson, Wanderlei Silva. You got all these greats that have came before me, put on amazing shows. And I think it kind of held me back from wanting to perform like I knew how, and now having the opportunity to do it again makes me that much more excited because I didn't give I gave 100% of me, but my performance wise was a little bit lackluster because of the ring and how slippery it was, the canvas, and just being there. Right, it's just so much excitement, and it was cool to experience. And now going forward, I know what to expect.
Did you get a little bit starstruck just being there? Again, like, you're hearing the crowd, like it's different than the American crowds, right? It's a little bit, and I hate to use the word a little bit respectful, right? But it's just a different crowd. And, you've got all these legends, like you mentioned, Genki Sudo coming out. So did that play a role in it? I guess, like you were saying, it did kind of affect you a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I tried not to let it because I was so busy with the weight cut, and then you get there and everything's going off. Like there's music, there's live performances going on. You're seeing these fireworks go off, and then the walkout to announce the main card. You walk out, you do the ceremonial walkout, and then the miscommunication on with the commission, being like, no, don't wrap your hands, and you're like, well, everyone else is wrapping their hands, I think I need to wrap my hands, so you're wrapping your hands. And then I didn't really get a warm-up because I was the second fight, and it was like, that's something that is very hard, is to be the second person on the card, because you never know when you're gonna fight. Like if you're the first fighter, you're like, okay, cool, I know exactly when I'm fighting. When you're the main event, you kind of have an idea of when you're fighting, but the second placement on the card is always hard because you never get a full warm up. You don't know when you're coming on. Like Ramazov almost finished the guy first round, so I was like, oh shoot, I gotta, we're
Yeah,
ready,
yeah,
like
yeah.
let's go,
Trying to anticipate it. Yeah.
and then it goes longer. It goes another 13 minutes, and you're like, oh man, like, so the emotional roller coaster is crazy, but at the end of the day, it was amazing. I had such a blast, and so did my team and my family, and we're looking forward to going back out there.
And another good opponent here, man. That's one thing I've always given you credit for. You're fighting some of the toughest guys in the world, and you're fighting Inoue, who's got a 16-3 record. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
I think he's very fast. He has very good basics, which are right down the middle, straight 1-2, double jab. Very good grappler, and I'm excited. I know if you push the pace on him, he's going to wear down and he's going to slow down. And that's my opportunity to take the kill. So I think I know I have to make a statement this fight because to be a mega star out there, people want to see finishes and they want to see exciting fights. Like that's what Japan's culture is. They know that this is going to be a real fight, and that's what gets them excited to come and see it in person. Spending time out there with the fans and understanding their culture and understanding what MMA means to them, mixed martial arts. Like it was so crazy, James, being out there. You see little kids and like all the way ranging from grandmas like crying to see me, like legitimately and like shaking. And I don't know how to take that. I'm just like, man, like I've never had this where little kids are like wanting to be me, like, that I've never even seen before. Like grandma is just like, oh my gosh, like crying to hug me and like my kids and stuff. And so it was definitely an experience out there. And now I know what it means to them. So now I know that they appreciate performances, and I'm gonna go out there and do that. And Inoue is a perfect opponent to do that with.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. You were telling me, actually, I got to give you credit. We were working on a couple different times to do this interview, and we made it work. And props to you, because I know sometimes it can be tough with your schedule. But you were telling me, actually, you're going to be working with, or you're doing some sparring with Chito Vera, who's going to be fighting here in a few weeks. Is this new, or have you trained with him before? I was trying to remember.
Yeah, Cheeto and I and TJ and Cub, we've all been training since his Albuquerque days, since he was in Albuquerque, and then when he moved to California, Daryl Christian and myself and Cheeto and everything, we trained, and then when he went to Ruka, we kind of like split paths, and I was focusing on mine, he was focusing on becoming a title contender, and now he's put himself in that position, and I feel like my skill set will help his, and his will help mine. So, we've been bouncing training sessions off of each other, and, he's looking amazing. I feel like he's going to have another victory, and he's going to get closer to that belt, which he rightfully deserves.
Yeah, huge opportunity there. What about the rest of camp? Last time we talked, I remember a lot of your training partners were injured, right? You had Cub Swanson, and I know Dillashaw, and all. Like you were kind of telling me, like we're kind of low on the bench, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
How you got lots of time now? I'm assuming you get some of those guys back, or what's camp looking like from that perspective?
Yeah, definitely. Brian's starting to come back in off his surgery. Cub Swanson's back in now, and so TJ's still doing some rehab and recovery. He should be in within the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, my training partners now have came back full circle, and so I'm excited to and that's what leads me into a better performance. Having the right training partners and not scavenging out for some here and there. But now we got a solid team that's ready to prepare me to win this title.
What about up and comers? You working with any prospects? I always like to hear about some of the new guys coming through right now, because these are guys we'll be seeing on your LFA or Contender Series, right?
Yeah, we got some guys named Danny Silva, who's going to be actually a big training partner of mine for this fight because of his length and his style of boxing and his low kicks that he throws. He's very good. He's fought for LFA. Chris McCarty, he's awesome too. He's in the tournament on that the card that just happened in Phoenix with Benson Henderson's team.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. It escapes me at the moment, but I know exactly what you're referring to.
And so that was just in Phoenix, and so he's gonna Chris McCarty's gonna is in the semifinals of that tournament, and then hopefully get into the finals from there. So yeah, we got some very good wrestlers, some good boxers, and some guys that are coming in to train with us that are helping us, because they're the future, and so it's always helpful to keep that circuit going and staying refreshed, and getting the young and hungry guys that are coming and like pushing you, so you're like, damn, I got to get better.
Yeah, exactly. Keeping you on your toes, as they say, right? Which is great.
Yeah.
You talked about the travel last time and the weight cut and all that. Now that you've done the traveling already, anything different you're going to do for the weight cut to make it easier, or did it go according to plan? What were sort of your thoughts last time compared to this time?
Yeah, everything went according to plan last time. It was a little difficult finding the proper food, which is why we went out there earlier. But now, having communication and relationships with people in Japan, it's going to be that much more accessible. And then Crazy B, the Yamamoto family have been super supportive of myself and my team. So the gym, fighting in Tokyo again, we're going to have access to that gym and other gyms as well with the Pancrase, Hide, Tanaka out there. He has other gyms as well. But yeah, I mean, going out there and spending the month out there that I did, made really good relationships with people in the MMA community. To have open doors was a blessing for sure.
Do you know who's going to be making the trip with you as far as your corner?
Yeah, so right now, it's going to be Tiki Gosen and Paul. They've been doing pretty much hands-on and full head coach now on my team. And so right now we're talking with Cub and TJ on which one can make it. Cub has some guys fighting around that time that so he might not be able to make it. So might fill in with TJ or Felipe Del Monica, who's our jiu-jitsu instructor.
Yeah, it's a good group of guys regardless. How's this one playing out on May 6th? I imagine you don't want to go to the scorecards this time.
No, this time I definitely don't want to go to the scorecards. I'm definitely going to wear him down, and first round is going to be a back and forth fight. I could see that already. That with his style, his movement. But then once he starts slowing down, the takedowns are going to be more accessible to me, and looking to finish him and getting my first big submission for the upper promotions and finishing out in style.
Obviously, at the top of your division, we mentioned it there. We've got that big fight between Rafion Stotts and Patchy Mix. What's your pick in that one? Who do you think takes the belt?
Man, Patchy's been looking so good and unstoppable right now. I've recently trained with him too and felt the shift in him, after losing to me and then being able to train with him again, right? It's just like, oh man, like he's really hungry, and he really wants this win. And I'm not saying Rufion doesn't because he's very skilled, he's very defensive and he plays a role. And I think if he plays back too much, he's going to get back into the cage. And Patchy is very strong on wrapping people up and getting them to the floor and taking their back. And staying active on top is where he's best at. And Rufion's very good at scrambling. But I think Patchy's just that much better at finding submissions and kill shots than Rufion. So I think Patchy definitely takes a submission.
Okay, and then over in the UFC, we've got Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo. What's the pick in that one? Who do you think takes it?
Yeah, I think Aljamain Sterling is on fire right now. That's another thing. When you fight someone with confidence and the way they've been winning, it's very hard to detour that. And I'm living proof of that because I fight guys that are on very big highs, like fighting Patchy when he was 13-0, fighting Rufion on a big fight win streak. Just all these guys, and fighting Patricio is just like these guys are hard to. You're not going to get if you're looking to finish right away, it's not going to happen. So if you take your time, kind of like ride the wave, and if Cejudo rides that wave and like kind of lets him shoot everything out in the first 2 to 3 rounds, I think it might end up like the Peter Yan situation in the first fight, but it'll be a finish instead of a nut shot. But I think Aljamain takes it though.
Okay, I like the honesty there. And then what's next after this? Is it continue this world tour that you're on, or is it I guess just kind of wait and see what happens with the division? Because like you said, it's a bit of a logjam right now with Pettis still out.
Well, luckily for me right now, this is a 3-fight deal with RIZIN, right?
Oh, like, cool. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because this first fight is going to put us into the finals of fighting between Asakura and Montoya. So the winner out of that one, which I think Asakura will come out on top. And then I think I know him and I will be fighting for the title. And so it's just being prepared because that's going to be at the end of July is what they announced. So I'm very excited for that fight because it's been in the making. And, if it goes well, maybe it will be a rematch on New Year's or something, or however it may play out. But I'm fully zoned in and ready to represent Bellator in Japan this year and build my own brand while I'm out there because, that's what the sport's about.
Juan, great talking to you, man. Really excited for this fight. RIZIN 42 coming up here May 6th. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, anything like that, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you for having me on here and your fans for tuning in and always checking in with us. I'm very excited to announce this fight, so thank you for the platform. I'm looking forward to putting on my martial arts, the American martial arts, and taking it to where martial arts was born in Japan, the mother of MMA. And so I want to thank Scott Coker for putting his neck out there on the line for me. And him and Saki Abar continue to make waves in the MMA community. And I'm truly grateful to be part of this historic moment on going there and representing promotion and putting it all on the line. And it wouldn't be done without Tiki Gosen, my manager, who's been, in the middle of all this, trying to, delegate the certain and manage the certain situations that are going on. So I'm extremely grateful and, bringing the RIZIN title back and coming back and fighting the winner out of the Grand Prix, and Sergio Pettis next is going to put me with two straps back on my shoulders.